Great. So can everybody see this slide?
Yes.
This one, not B. Sorry, one more time. There we go. So for those who don't know, so this is like the list of our staff. Some of them you've already met. And for Jenny and I, who are the new staff here. So I work with, as a development assistant, I work with Susan and Anne, kind of fostering that relationship with third-party fundraisers, and also now working on try to boost our volunteer program. So here we go. So the mission for Pink Lemonade is to educate, empower, support all communities affected by breast cancer. Jenny, if you'd like to kind of talk about the story of how Pink Lemonade came about.
Yeah, so many of you, or some of you may know that PLP was founded in 2010 by doctors Cassie and Alan Gabriel, two Vancouver-based physicians that are here in downtown Vancouver. And our mission is, as Hakeem said, to educate, empower, and support all communities affected by breast cancer. But we're doing that through education, outreach. We've added screening to that cadre of services now, psychological, emotional, and financial assistance needs of those in their breast cancer journey. Pink Lemonade Project exists to increase the early detection rate, which we all know is incredibly important, drive down the death rate, and help improve quality of life for those living with breast cancer.
So here are some interesting facts about breast cancer that people may not know. For example, 1 in 7 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime in the Pacific Northwest, and men also get breast cancer. And this rate of diagnosis and actually is one of the highest in the nation. Genetics play 10% in all cases, and recurrence can be up to like 30%. So and 20 to 30% of all patients diagnosed with are early likely to get metastatic breast cancer in their lifetime. So, and the diagnosis rates and mortality death vary by race and ethnicity. And that's what part of why we're starting this early detection program, partnering and trying to get, communities that are not usually beneficial of those programs to get those early detections. Here is kind of a growth of our organization in the past 3 years. As you can see, we were only serving 1,000 people in 2020, and now we almost doubled that to 2,500 people, and the amount that we've raised have also increased. So as the years have been going, the organization have been growing, the people that we've been able to reach has been increasing. So that's a good news. And all of that wouldn't be possible if it weren't for people volunteering, giving their time and helping us actually achieve our mission, and also talking about our organization to other people. So that's very valuable. And that's why, having volunteers and people help us is very valuable to us. So we want to kind of use this opportunity to talk about the different programs that we offer. So I would like to, Jenny, kind of talk about the different programs that we offer so that people get to know them and get acclimated with those.
Yeah. So within our programs department, we have several different sections of programs that we offer in ways that we can help and support people. I'll just touch on these briefly. We have Jill's Book Bank, which is a curated collection of books that we have in our office. You can kind of see them behind Hakeem and Carrie there. And we have books that range anywhere from picture books for young kids through middle school age books to chapter books to young adult novels. and even adult books that sort of span that age gap. They're available to providers, to social workers, to schools, to any kind of folks that can help us get those out into the community. So if you know anyone who may be wanting to use those in their practice and share those with the community, please direct them to us. We've got our virtually pink events, which are virtual, and they're education events that we put on where we're bringing in experts in the field of breast cancer or topics around breast cancer. Earlier this year, we had a speaker on sleep. Katrina Fink came in and talked about how important sleep was to recovery, to the body. And so she wasn't a licensed medical professional, but she was an expert in her field. And so bringing in folks like that. Then we also have the metastatic breast cancer dinner series. So quarterly, these folks get together to build community. Oftentimes there's a speaker involved. It's been virtual through the pandemic for obvious reasons. It's a vulnerable population. And so being virtual was a safe way for them to meet. We were able to provide gift certificates for dinner, and people could order dinner and have it delivered and then meet virtually and still have their community. We do actually have an in-person event coming up this summer, which we're super excited about. So if you are living with metastatic breast cancer or know someone, we have an event at the Kennedy School in June, and it's actually a brunch. It's not dinner this time, so it's brunch, but it'll be a fun weekend brunch event to get together. There won't be a speaker this time. It'll just be a chance for everybody to get together and just be together and be in community. Next slide, please. And then on the Empower side, we have our financial aid assistance programs. We have the Treatment Access Program, which is just focused on helping people travel to their treatments. We've had a lot of treatment centers close during the pandemic due to finances, due to burnout. And so people are having to travel farther, especially when they're coming from rural areas. And so that can definitely be a burden on them or a barrier to getting their treatment. So they can, and this is a program that we brought over from Susan G. Komen when they left the area. This is one of the ones that we took on. And so participants, when they apply, can be awarded $100 Visa gift cards in increments of $100 to help them with gas, any kind of transportation needs, if they need to stay in overnight lodging, Ubers, that kind of thing. And then we have Pink Practicalities, which is a more of a generalized financial aid assistance program, helping with non-travel expenses. But if a lot of people have to take time off of work or wind up leaving their jobs or taking leave of absences to recover while they're going through treatment. So we can help a little bit with filling the gap for some loss of income, for groceries, for utilities, lymphedema sleeves, for things that are not covered by traditional health insurance. And then our Holiday Glow program is sort of what it sounds like. It's celebrating the holidays, but a lot of people are having to sort of cut back at the holidays because maybe they've had extra expenses with their treatment, or they've had to take time off work, and so funds are tight. And so helping families make sure that they have a little bit of time at the holidays to have, things that they're sort of more used to. Yeah, Laura.
Thanks. Sorry to interrupt. I have a question
No,
about who these programs are for. So I think I read online that it was for folks that are within Multnomah County, but for instance, I have a mentee in Salem that could use some of these benefits. Can that person apply, or how does that work?
Yeah, the Pink Practicalities has a limit in the counties that they need to be in. So they can be in, there's 3 counties. Let me just make sure I'm saying them right. It's Clackamas, Multnomah, and Washington counties in Oregon, and then Clark County in Washington for Pink Practicalities.
But it's treatment, they have to be getting treatment in those areas.
Okay,
yes,
that was my
thank you,
next question.
Carrie.
So she
Yes.
is being treated at OHSU.
Yeah, so she
Yes. And they could either be
Okay.
living or receiving treatment. They don't have to be both, so one or the other. And then they do have to
Okay.
be in active treatment, you know, chemo, radiation,
Yes.
whatnot. The treatment access program, because we're sort of targeting folks that are out in more rural areas, that is, there's more coverage in that. And then Holiday Glow, that's a good question. I think it's generally focused on folks sort of in the metro-ish area. But I can double check on that and get back to you, because I haven't been through a Holiday Glow season yet, so. And then on our support side, we have our Pink Peers mentoring program, which some of you may be familiar with. And very exciting, we have another training coming up for mentorship. So if you are either an existing mentor or you're thinking about becoming a mentor and you need to be a year out of your diagnosis and treatment to become a mentor. So we have a training coming up on June 3rd. So you can either do a refresher or as a new mentor. It'll be facilitated by Susan Headland, and it'll be in downtown Vancouver. We'll have a brunch. And we're also asking some of our very long time mentors to just share shortly, you know, at a point in the morning training to just share their experiences. And so I think it'll be great for new folks as well as existing mentors to just sort of have that community and meet with other folks and have that chance to not only learn and get a refresher, but to hear other people's stories and things. And then we also have our Pink Link events, which are everything from, we do walks about 9 months out of the year. We have a Healing with the Herd llama therapy event coming up. So they are therapeutic llamas out in Ridgefield, actually right across from A Casino, where the Holiday Glow gala is going to be. We're going to have a gathering out there in July. And they have these wonderful llamas that have all these different personalities. And they take them to hospitals and schools. And so they're certified therapy animals. It's very cool. We're also going to have a Hip Chicks wine event in June. We did a Friends of Trees planting 2 weekends ago. So all different kinds of activities. Some are virtual. We're getting back into a lot of in-person events, most of them outside. And so it's a chance for everybody to just come together, have community, get a little exercise, get some fresh air, have a little wine, pet some llamas. So, and we're also going to do an escape room later in the year too. So we've got a lot of fun things coming up. So definitely check out the calendar. And if you're not on the email list, make sure you get yourself on the email list, because that's a great way, or our social media, because that's a great way to find out about all the events to register. And then we've also got our support. We are branching out this year into screenings, and we are not putting on the screenings ourselves. We are partnering with medical systems and organizations such as NARA and Rosewood Initiative and different places throughout Oregon and Washington. And a lot of times mostly we're going to underserved communities. Mama vans are coming out. There'll be little health fairs there where we're going, helping people with swag bags and try to make it a fun experience so that it's not a scary experience, and having people become aware of what's going on in their bodies so that we can catch these early detections. Our Revive retreats are now back in person. And so we have multiple retreats throughout the year targeting different groups. We have a metastatic breast cancer, we have a long-term survivors, we have a general survivors, and then we have a couples retreat. And there are still 2 retreats left for this year, the long-term survivors and the couples retreat. And I think both are technically full, but there are waiting lists, and there's often movement on those waiting lists. So if you know anybody who may be interested, again, that's another
When is the
great way
couples
to-
retreat? Do you know the date?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that. Sorry,
Well,
let me get the
just
date
send
real
it
quick.
later. Just send it later.
Yeah,
Great.
I will. I'll put it in the chat in a little bit.
Okay, thanks.
And then let's see, Hakeem, would you go to the next? All right, volunteer opportunities.
Yeah, so what we're all here for, so the volunteer opportunity. So before I go there, I'm just kind of having I want to ask everybody just a question about what do you think when you hear about just volunteering? What motivates you to volunteer? If you just want to chime in, just tell me. Like for me, when I choose to volunteer, it's because I'm really passionate about the organization. I like what they're doing, and I wanna give back. So I'm just kind of curious, what's the motivation for you when you want to volunteer, Laura?
Oh, I'm kind of an introvert. So for me to go to like a social event, I don't meet as many people as if I actually get involved volunteering. And so it's really a way for me to get more connected into the community.
Great. Anybody else?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
me, like giving back, like we talked about earlier, giving back to people that have helped me out and just kind of getting the word out. That's what I do it for.
I was going to say, I'm actually more of an extrovert. And so, having been in aspects of my life where I've had to present and mentor team members in the corporate world, I mean, I really have a passion to talk to other women and share and laugh together and see if we can problem solve together. So I enjoy the social aspects of it, and hope I would be able to contribute that way.
Great. Now, when we talk about volunteering, what kind of volunteering have you done before? Just kind of curious. Have you just helped put packages together? Have you volunteered just standing at the event? I've heard somebody mention that they were at the Girlfriends Run last year. So I'm just kind of curious, what kind of volunteers jobs have you done in the past?
Well, can I just
Yeah, just jump in.
all right. I've done a lot of community organizing and political action volunteering, where I've manned booths, where I've done a lot of voter registration drives, gone out door to door canvassing. Also, again, as I said, manning booths in community centers to register voters. So, and in terms of community organizing around issues, around levies, bills, I've always, since I was a little girl and my mother was an activist, she took me around. It's sort of just got into my DNA. Also been a museum docent where I presented special exhibitions and paintings, drawings, everything to families and everyone from 3-year-olds to 93-year-olds. So that's been the bulk of my volunteer activity.
Wow, great. Anybody else?
I've been on several boards for like the Catch-22 board for 3 different years, and then Long Beach Ski Club in California, I was on their board for a couple years. I don't find it difficult to volunteer. It's actually fairly easy if you have the time available, and I think because I'm retired, I have more time available, although I have my mom that's 90, so sometimes I have to tag team her care. And in listening to all the different programs, I had no idea. So I'd be really interested in the outreach to do the mammograms, because one of my biggest things right now is how many women are diagnosed with dense breast tissue obscures findings. And I had a negative, so quote unquote, negative mammogram 2 months before I found my first little symptom, and it wasn't a lump. Never had a lump. So I got real proactive after that. So I think women need to be really aware of other symptoms other than a lump, and to be more persistent to get additional screening like 3D mammogram if they find that they've got a diagnosis of dense breast tissue obscures findings. to me, there's so many more women out there that probably have breast cancer, but their doctors will never find it because it's spreading and they have dense breast tissue. My sister found her own because she decided she was going to fight for a 3D mammogram and pay for it herself because the insurance wasn't going to pay for it. And I don't know what it's going to take for the insurance companies to get on board with additional screening for dense breast tissue at least once or every 3 to 5 years or something to find cancer when there's dense breast tissue. To me, that's should go to the top of the list for things to advocate for, either, legislatively or through the insurance industry. And I heard once it was like, well, the insurance companies would rather pay to cure, to treat breast cancer than to pay for all this additional screening.
That's so hard to believe though. Like I totally agree with what you're saying, Sue. So I'm going to interrupt because I've thought about this so much because like everybody has dense breasts and you're like, well, why doesn't the imaging work for everybody's breasts? Like, come on.
Yeah, it should just switch
just to
over.
add an
It's
MRI is like
overwhelming.
$1,000 every 3 years. And when you're looking at doing chemo 3 times at $25,000 a pop, it just makes financial sense for them. And so I agree. Someone needs to pull that thread. And I don't know if PLP is the right group to do it. If not, it would be great to find out who we would approach because I totally agree.
Well, I know like in the Senate or the Congresswoman, and I forget her name, the senator from Ohio, I believe, that was running for president last time around, she ended up with breast cancer. So there's some, women in Congress who might be worth, stepping out to, but each of the states is responsible for the health, safety, and welfare of their own citizens and residents. So it has to be like a statewide move first and then maybe go federal. But yeah, it's a hot button for me.
Me
Yeah.
too. I do think that eventually soon, like in the next few years, there will be a blood test. And so until we get to that blood test though, lots
Wow.
of women are going to be found with later stage breast cancer, like myself, even though they were getting their annual screenings.
One of the statistics, I also went to Dr. Cynthia Bai, naturopath, who's now retired, as part of my treatment regime to support mainstream medicine. But she had a statistic that was so amazing that there was a study done of accident victims, like women who died unexpectedly, car accidents, heart attacks, between the ages of 40 and 50, something like that. And 40% of them had micro breast calcifications and pre-cancers, 40% waiting to have breast cancer, had they not died and been through this autopsy program to determine the level. So that's a significant amount of women who already are predisposed for breast cancer that could be detected 10 years sooner. Of course, the opposite argument is, well, then they're receiving so much more radiation during the time that they're being followed to see, but at least to arm women with that knowledge that they should, pay attention and be aware of it. So, anyhow.
Thanks, Sue. I would like to start talking about the volunteer opportunities that we have here at Pink Lemonade Project. So we have some people here in our panel that are already part of the committees and are already familiar with that. And if Jenny would like to talk about the different project committee and program services.
Yeah. So we have a couple different committees. We have a programming committee, obviously, which is sort of falls under my department, and that's just working with us to have a more in-depth understanding of the programs that we offer and how those programs can be more effectively run, helping out potentially with maybe leading walks or those kinds of things. We also have a fundraising committee, communications committee, and event planning committee, working across the scope of all of Pink Lemonade. So events planning would be helping out with things like our big gala, Pink Glow, which is coming up. or things like the Girlfriends Run, which is coming up in October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Fundraising would be more Hakeem and Susan side of the house, and communications is always super important as well. As I mentioned, we have within our programs, we have the upcoming mentor training / refresher on June 3rd. So if you're, as I said, I won't repeat myself too much, but if you're an existing mentor or looking to become a new mentor, that would be a great opportunity.
Thanks, Jenny. And I would like to use this opportunity, because this is recorded, for people who are part of a committee or are mentor, just kind of share a little bit about your experience volunteering and actually doing those volunteer positions. You can go.
Okay. So as far as the program committee, we meet monthly, and it was combined, Pink Practicalities was combined with the program committee. We recently split off the two, so we have two separate meetings. Some of us go to both, some of us just do Pink Practicalities, reviewing applications, and some just do the program committee. And for program committee meetings, we usually just go over kind of what's going on with our programs, what's how the support groups are going, what events have happened, you know, kind of brainstorming, and we pick a topic each month to kind of dive in depth. Last month, we just kind of went over like our, I think it was our Pink Link events, I think we talked about. So we kind of pick something to focus on each month, and just kind of talk about how we can just more interest. We need more members. So that would be great. But yeah, that's kind of what we do.
Great. Laura, do you want to talk about just being a mentor?
Yeah, I would love to, Hakeem. Yeah, so I've been a mentor for about a year, and I really enjoy it. I did an online training, but I will be attending the in-person training, which I think will be really fun. And you know, I do some other mentorship programs, and I just find that I get so much back from doing this just personally. It makes me feel great to be able to apply what I learned and help other people so that they don't have to relearn what I did. I just love it. You know, I think that there was a woman who she got an award for raising the most money last year for PLP at the celebration event, and I'm forgetting her name, but she put it so well. She's like, "Oh, I don't mind mentoring. It's just a way for me to make lots of friends." It's so true. But it is really fun to help people that are in, you know, they're really they're in a crisis, right? It's a crisis when you get diagnosed and you need to figure out how to take a year off work or whatever, you know, it's huge. It's, and, you know, to be able to tell people that they don't have to do this alone, and that there are groups like PLP that have lots of resources, and just to connect with them. I think it just makes all the difference for them, for that experience to be less overwhelming. You know, it still is overwhelming. So I think it just becomes less of all the things that it is.
Thank you. So another opportunities, you know, in fundraising, helping with the gala, which is our, you know, big event. It's coming up in May 20th, and we have spots open. So if you haven't signed up yet, be on the lookout for an email that will have a Sign Up Genius link where you can go and sign up for different shifts and help us during the gala. So we have it every year, and that's where we raise a lot of the money. It's a great opportunity for people to dress fancy, come and enjoy dinner and dance and just kind of be all together, and a great opportunity to just get to meet everybody, see people face to face. And so, you know, for one of our biggest events, so we really need a lot of help with just setting things. So the jobs that you can expect can be, you know, helping us set up. During the event, we do some fundraising, so helping us, you know, track and just during the ebb and flow of the event, with, you know, people raise their paddles and and bid on some items, so we might need some people to help us keep track of all of that. We don't have a huge team, so having people volunteer during those events are very vital for us to be able to put this event every year. Has anybody ever volunteer during a gala before?
I've done
Yes.
the, just the decorating part, but like I wasn't there. I've gone to it before and I'm going to it this year.
Great.
But yeah, I
I've
haven't
done it.
volunteered yet.
Yes, Susan?
Yeah, I have done it. I've done it for political fundraisers, and I did it more recently for the Arts Center in Corvallis. But unfortunately, in May 20th, I won't be in the country. Like,
Oh.
it's just, I almost was thinking, well, let's see, can I cancel my trip? This sounds so amazing, but I'm afraid I can't. Oh.
That's okay. Maybe you can help out with the girlfriends run if you're around.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And
That would
speaking
be
of
great.
girlfriends,
Yep.
Sunday, October 8th. So we held this event with Y Racing. So our annual run event is one of our biggest events. I think we're expecting 2,000 people, if I have my numbers right. 3,000 people, I'm having the correction. So as you can expect, a lot of people are attending. It's a very great event. People choose to run, walk, and it's just great celebration. We might need help. For example, we set up bags that we hand to runners. We might have people help with handing out water, as you can see in the picture, and other different opportunities of jobs. And I think I've heard somebody, was it you, Susan, who said that you helped with the run last year?
It's me, Sue.
Oh,
We,
Sue.
yeah, 2 years I've stuffed bags, and that actually works kind of an assembly line thing with magazines, inserts, some makeup samples, some soap samples, some cookies or gummy vitamin samples, just samples that are coming in from people. So we
Yeah.
try to stuff the bags, and it's an amazing amount of stuff because they all go into trash bags, and you learn you don't cinch them shut, you fold them because they lie better in the trash cans, so that you get more in the bins. And then there's a couple guys with Y Racing that then heft these things up into probably the lift that puts them in the truck. So there's a huge amount of just manpower that goes into just stuffing the swag bags for people. And then the time I checked in to stand on the line, then I had to check in at the volunteer desk, and there were 2 people running that. And then of course, then there's the people that are checking in the walkers and the runners and the racers and handing out bibs. I think there was bibs. And then of course, all of the volunteers that are on the different paths, because there's 5K part of it, there's a 10K part of it, there's like a 3K walk, and they all have different paths that people take. So there's a lot that goes into the Girlfriends Walk, and a lot of times I'm out of town for that one. I'm going to be out of town on May 20th. So it's just, yeah, but it's interesting. There's a lot of manpower that goes into these things.
Yeah. Another opportunity to help us with volunteering with us is the third-party event, which I'll be in charge of. So those are community events that go throughout spring, summer, and sometimes also during the month of October, where we are invited by organizations. That can be a volleyball game, a soccer game, a baseball game, where we're partnering with those local teams, and we bring sometimes our cart or booth, and we talk about they use this opportunity also to kind of get the word out about Pink Lemonade Project and what we're doing. It's a great opportunity for us to fundraise. And sometimes we have a lot of events going on at the same time, and we might need someone to help us attend some of those different events because the staff are committed to already something else. And so that's when we might have those opportunities. And you can expect to just help us just kind of hand flyers, talk about Pink Lemonade Project, your experience with us. So some knowledge about what we're doing might be necessary for that, and just the ability to just commit 2 to 4 hours during those events. So if you sign up, as I think everybody here has done, you selected things that you were interested in volunteering, and you can expect some emails regarding those. Administrative and office support. So from time to time we might need some help here at the office. You know, during the Holiday Glow event, I believe we write letters to donors and to people, so we might need people to come and help us write those letters. Sometimes in our storage, when we have those big events, we might need some help with just storing or taking things out, carrying things. And so some knowledge with administrative work can be really helpful, or just coming and helping with just physical doing stuff here and there can also be needed. So here is just kind of want to talk about just how we will be communicating, and I'm just kind of curious, how would you like to hear about our volunteer opportunities? Would you rather get those in an email? Would you rather check them on our website, on social media? I'm just kind of curious, everybody here, like, what's your preferred communication method? Do you rather just get emails from us when we have opportunities, and you can just jump in?
Email or
Yeah.
text?
Email.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
It's just so
email.
much more immediate.
I
It's
like the
more
Sign Up
immediate.
Genius. I think the Sign Up Genius works really well, just to be able to see like what slots are open and what slots are taken,
Yes.
and
Right.
Yes, great idea.
Yeah, so when you will be receiving these emails, and I think that's in our next slide here, that's you will get a link with Sign Up Genius, and Sign Up Genius is what we use to get those slots filled, and it will have more information about the specific opportunities. You'll click the link, and it will take you to the website, where you will see the event or the job needed, and you get to pick a slot, and you can see here, for example, fundraising event from 2 to 3, and you can sign up for it. Or if you are available from 10 to 1, you can sign up for to help with the administrative side of things. And that way, once you sign up, you click on the slot that you prefer, you put your name and email address, and you will get a confirmation email, and we will get that list, and then we can follow up with you after that. So that will be our way of communicating. So you can expect email from us with those links, and it will be also on our website and our social media. I'm also going to be sending a monthly newsletter for volunteers, and you will get some information about, everything that has been going on within the organization volunteer wise, and what's expecting, for example, for the next month. And if things come along, you might get another email or two during the month. As anybody has any questions?
I'm just so excited, honestly. I mean, you presented it. Or I'm going back to my presentation mode so clearly and so just straightforwardly, and it's a pleasure to learn about this and see how accessible it is to volunteer. So I'm sounding Pollyanna-ish, but I'm very excited to be part of this. So thank you.
Thank you. And another way you can really help us is when you volunteer, when you come to the event, make sure to sign up your hours. We use those hours in our financials. It helps us fundraise more money, because we can showcase that people are volunteering, they're giving their time. They really care about the organization, they care about the mission. So for us to be able to track those hours is very important. And so that's one thing that can be really helpful. Another way is, word of mouth, talk about the organization to people if they want to set up a small event at our office, if they want us to come and talk to their office, or to people at their work about Pink Lemonade Project. Those are also ways that are really helpful. They might not be categorized as volunteering, but I think they are. That's part of volunteering. That's part of, giving part of your time and helping us, you know, just reach more people and connect more people and help more people. So with that, I just want to say thank you, you know, everyone for taking the time to join us today. We couldn't do this without you. Pink Lemonade was started by people volunteering, and it's keep growing. And we just are so thankful for you giving, you know, your time to us. And if you have any follow-up questions, if you are interested in all those different volunteer opportunities, being part of a committee, or being more involved, you can follow up with me, or you can follow up with Jenny, and we'll be happy to just help you get more information.
Thank you.
And without before we end, I was just kind of curious. We have some t-shirts and we'd like to send some of them to you guys as a thank you for joining us today. So if you just kind of can put it in the chat, your t-shirt site, if you're interested, just let me know. You can also just say it.
How big do they run?
That's a good question. I
think we have,
No.
I think they go up a couple of XLs, so let us know and
But
we'll,
do they run large? I mean, if you typically take a medium, but you know, sometimes the mediums are a little, you could use a scooch more room.
Mhm.
So you like a medium, Susan?
Well, maybe a large, just to be on the safe side. A large, thank you.
Sounds good. Do you want any t-shirt?
Yes, please.
Yeah, what's
What's
the-
extra large?
Extra large. There you go. I'll make sure you get it, and I can get yours right now since you're here. Great. Does anybody have any other questions, comments, anything you want to add?
Do you guys,
Yeah,
I
but
know
ju-
you're, go ahead.
Oh,
I was just
like
wondering
one-
if you, oh.
Sorry.
Oh,
You go ahead, honestly.
okay. I was just wondering if you ever reach out to the schools for help, like for events or, you know, like,
That's a
like
good question.
Pinklo-
Yeah.
Like, I know the high school kids need a certain amount of volunteer hours
Yeah.
to graduate.
Yeah, we
Um,
have not yet for Pink Glow. I don't know if so maybe for girlfriends run. I think that's
Yeah,
when we will
something-
need a lot of people
yeah,
there.
I
So
just thought that's a
I-
good.
yeah. Go ahead, Jenny.
I know for Y Racing does sort of these volunteer stipends for local sports teams and clubs. And so my daughter actually runs track and cross country at a local high school. And so the teams sign up for shifts to help out on the course, to hand out water, to direct people, to set up cones and all that stuff. And so they can have their club sign up and then come out and volunteer and earn just a little bit of money towards their clubs, you know, so that they have money to go to competitions or to go to, you know, district meets and things like that. So yeah, definitely for girlfriends, we tap into that.
Great.
My question was just that Sign Up Genius, how soon can we sort of jump on this to explore? Is it if I went to the website today, would I see some opportunities to participate in?
The Sign
So-
Up Genius will
Go
be
ahead.
sent out per volunteer need or
Oh,
event. So
okay.
our
I see.
next big thing coming up is for the gala for the holiday or for the Pink Glow Gala. So we're just about to actually send that out. So there'll be a list of jobs that we need help with. And so we'll send
Yes.
out and people can sign up for shifts and jobs based on what they are available to do or want to do. And so as we have, you know, specific opportunities like that for an event, we'll send Sign Up Genius out for that. If there's something more like a programming committee, or you know you're interested in maybe doing a health fair or something like that, go ahead and shoot us an email at the office, and then we'll know to keep you, you know, posted for those kinds of things.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Great question. And yes, so you can expect that email soon regarding the Pink Glow events. And as more opportunities come across, we will definitely be sending an email with a Sign Up Genius where you can just click on the link and you will see those opportunities there. And I'm hoping we'll have it also on our website within next month.
Yay.
Great.
Thank you all so much for your
Thank
time
you,
today.
everyone.
Your time is valuable, super valuable to our organization. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it was wonderful. Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Thank
All
Bye.
you.
right. Have a great
Bye.
afternoon. Enjoy the sun.
Yes,
you.
yes.